Hit the mics, take a seat, it's about to ignite. Two dudes with the spread, keep your bets locked tight. Sports talk sharp like a razor blade edge. Numbers don't lie, no need for a hedge. Welcome to the greatest fucking show on earth. From the pitch to the court where legends birth. Plays and parlays, every wager's worth. Sit back, tune in, ride the wave of mirth. Game clock's ticking, we predicting the heat. Fast talk, faster stats, never tasting defeat. Breakdowns crisp, clear, a handicapper's delight. Rolling dice with insight under stadium lights. Feel the rush, odds crush and adrenaline flow. Front row seats in this betting expo. Chasing triumphs, breaking every curse. Welcome to the greatest fucking show on earth.
Hello, welcome to the Two Guys, One Spread podcast, post-draft edition.
I like it.
Tons of stuff to talk about. I'm Joey. Got my boy Tom here.
Going on, buddy?
Not too much. So much stuff to talk about.
A little bit talking about me being right. Oh, I love being right, and I said it to you right away.
Yeah.
I didn't think I was going to be that right, but I was right. A little certain player quarterback being taken after my boy Dart.
I'm curious. I mean, we'll get there. I'm curious to hear some thoughts on Dart. I want to go back. I don't know if your point was he would be drafted first or if you have confidence in Dart.
No, I thought he should be drafted before Sanders. That was my comment was he would be the second QB off the board. But I didn't have the guts to do it. I couldn't pull the trigger.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely didn't have the balls to say, Shador would be the 9th or whatever he was.
I know. I didn't have the guts to do that. I could have made some solid money if I had that kind of guts, but I didn't.
Yeah, I mean, we could jump right in. We won't spend a ton of time on the obvious ones. Cam Ward went where Cam Ward was going to go.
Right.
Hunter went where he was supposed to go, but there was a trade. What were your thoughts on the trade?
Yeah, it's tough. I don't know if I'd have to look back and see when. I know he's a unicorn type player. Mm-hmm. They gave up a first next year. They gave up basically the first pick of the or second pick in the second round to get him. It was a lot. I know you're moving up 3 places. I like Travis Hunter, I just don't know. I mean, it could be easily worth it if he's a great, top tier receiver, top tier quarterback. I guess. I think with if you're, I don't love the trade. I don't like what they gave up. They gave up a ton. I like the player they got, so I mean, it's worth it.
I don't necessarily. I mean, I love it for Cleveland, right? If you're Cleveland and you're like, listen, for either we don't think it's an area or a player we absolutely have to have,
right?
Or we were going someplace else,
right?
Then, you got to do it because someone wants to take that guy, and like you said, anytime you're moving up in the top 5, any place, there's huge capital involved.
So
Cleveland might have came into this.
3 picks.
Cleveland might have came in being like, we're going D tackle or we're going defensive side no matter what. Yeah. So, we'll move down, collect a ton of capital, and still get the guy we want.
Yeah, I mean, if they're interested in that D tackle, that was smart. I mean, there's a bunch of other great players available at the time. I mean, if they're moving back, they obviously could live without Hunter, and there was no quarterback there that they wanted. So what's the point? And they need players. They're obviously picking 2 for a reason.
Yeah, that's right.
You need more than just Travis Hunter. So moving back, getting a lot of capital for it. I love it on Cleveland's side. I think Travis Hunter is going to be a good player. I'm not bashing him at all. But it's a lot to give up, and I just don't know what he's going to do. And I'd have to look. The cornerbacks being drafted in the top 5, I just don't hear too much of. I'm sure it's happened.
Yeah.
But he is a unicorn type player, and they're going to use him on both sides. So, I mean, Jaguars, taking a big swing.
They are, and you know what? They got a new young GM in there, new coach. Like, you got to do something, right?
Right.
Like, whatever they've tried the last few years, like at this point, either
Well, the problem is Lawrence. We can talk about this, but Lawrence is the
sure.
problem. Guy sucks. He's a top.
I don't know if "sucks" is the word, but
he's the top pick in the draft. And he was supposed to be like the next Manning. They talked him up. He had the best thing ever, and he's a 15 core. He's in the 10 to 15 range quarterback.
Correct. So I think
went too far with sucks, but he's
but I agree.
Not what you think he should be.
I agree, and I think at this point they're like, listen, he gets $55 million, so we don't have $30 million to spend on, top flight receivers, free agents. So we need to make a splash in the next 4 or 5 years.
Yeah,
we need to make stuff happen. I'll say this: if Travis Hunter turns out to be as good as they say, then this might work out great. Yeah, they're giving up a pick next year, but if he can move Lawrence to that next level, and you're going to get him cheap for the next couple of years, then I think that's it. Because if you're paying your quarterback 55, it's tough to have money to go other places.
Yeah, I mean they got that stud rookie last year, wide receiver, who had a great rookie season.
Yeah, he's awesome.
So I mean you're putting these two together. That cheap, very cheap for the next 4 years.
That's right. So I mean, from that perspective, I like it because I don't know who else they're gonna. Where else are you getting top talent on offense to come in?
Right.
At a price point that they can probably afford.
Not a skilled position draft. It just wasn't. You can just tell by how people fell and stuff like that. It was not a skill position draft. So I mean, you got the best receiver on the board for sure, and then a cornerback. I get it. I get it. Lawrence better be good now. He's got no excuses. Not that
I
he
agree.
Excuses before, but he's got none now. So
no.
This is a Lawrence. You better. We paid you, even though you weren't top tier quarterback. We paid you.
That's right. It's time to find out.
Find out what we got because
is he a franchise quarterback or is he just a really good, a good quarterback?
These guys is not going anywhere
because good quarterback doesn't usually win.
It doesn't.
Super Bowls at least.
Yeah, you're right.
Good doesn't get there. Good gets you.
He's missed the playoffs, I believe, the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And he's just
good. Get you. Good gets you in the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't get you.
Pittsburgh, they've been getting you in the playoffs.
Yeah.
What does it get you? It gets you 10 years without.
Although they don't do it with good quarterback, they do it with great defense. But like Dak Prescott, he's a good quarterback. Yeah. He's not bad. He's good.
Yeah.
He's not. I don't think he's elite, and that's kind of what you when you're getting the number one guy and what he was supposed to be, that's what you're expecting. So.
Right.
My buddy Nate, he gets Abdul Carter for the Giants.
Yeah, we all saw this. It kind of seemed like this is where he was going to go. Abdul Carter was arguably the best player in this draft.
For sure.
And he goes to the Giants. It's a great pick. There's, at this point, again, they needed a quarterback. They didn't like anybody there enough to draft one. And Abdul Carter was, seemed like the odds-on pick here.
Yeah. I think the rest of the stuff it's pretty much what was expected, right?
Yeah, it really was. None of these things. He's gonna be fine. I don't like drafting the quarterback, running back in the top 10. But Genty, I get what the Raiders are doing. I don't have a real big problem with it. It's just the money that you got to end up paying him in 4 years. It's so much. It feels like you're going to be running into a Barkley situation again, and because you don't want to pay running backs top 10 money, and he's going to be in 4 or 5 years. He's going to be making like $20 million a year. You don't even want to pay.
But I'll say this: I'll say this, and not that they have a young quarterback because they don't, but for a team that's trying to, I mean. If you're in the top, for the most part, if you're in the top 8, you're just trying to be competitive, right? Like you want to get to, we're competitive, we're relevant, we're fighting for a playoff spot. We're like, we want to be in the hunt column,
right?
I see where he could kind of get you there, and for that organization, I think like I think that's almost what they need. I think that's why.
Yeah, I get it too. I mean,
that's why you bring Geno in. That's why you bring Pete in, because it's like every time we swing at something, it sucks. Like that's what happens with the Raiders.
Yeah. No, I get it. Big star.
Yeah.
Great player. Nothing wrong with him at all. Nothing wrong with him. It's just the 4 years down the line, it's a problem because you just like you feel like you don't get these guys a running back that's going to stay for more than 5 years tops, and then he's gone. But in a running back world, I guess that's good enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. So crazy here. I don't know. We talked about the Bears. I'll just mention the Bears real quick. I know this Loveland is supposed to be good. I don't understand how they didn't take an offensive player here, a guard, tackle, anything. I mean, they took a tight end. He's supposed to be good. I don't know a ton about him. I like that Tyler Warren. That guy was a stud, but I know he's more of an straight offensive player. This guy might be more well-rounded. They needed offensive linemen. I was a little confused with the pick, but you're still getting more weapons for your young quarterback, so it's not terrible.
There's a part of me that wouldn't. And again, this is the stuff that's really, I guess, kind of hard to know. Is there any chance that they could have moved down a couple picks and still got him?
Yeah, I know. I kind of agree with you too. I heard that, and I heard all over the place that they were getting tons of calls, and people wanted to move up. I mean, this was a very deep tight end draft. Out of a position that had skill position that had any depth, it was tight end. So I just feel even if you didn't get Loveland, there was a lot of depth in this draft at tight end.
Well, and I mean, again, I obviously I think a lot of people felt the Colts were going to go tight end at 14.
Right.
So I guess maybe you panic a little bit there, but I don't know. I feel like most of the stuff I saw felt like Warren was the top guy.
I thought so too. I was a little shocked to see him not go first.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, I mean, if I'm a Bears fan, you always, and listen, we're excited. We don't know anything about these guys, but we're excited. But I would have went an offensive lineman at that point. I could say the same thing about San Francisco. They're going to be so bad on offensive line this year that they went defensive end.
They're interesting to see because their defense got pillaged too. Though
it got pillaged. I mean, they're going to be. They spent all this money. They kept spending, and it's coming to haunt them now. I mean,
I think that's what I love about football, though. That's what I love about football is like you're going to pay for it at some point, right?
It does cost you.
Yeah. San Fran. I thought right from the get go that who's the receiver? Why can't I think?
The guy who got his knee injury?
No. Yeah.
I can't think of his name either. The guy they signed last year.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Why did they pay him? And
I didn't like that contract, and they've had injuries, and they were aggressive with. They were aggressive with McCaffrey, and they've been great, but they haven't won. So I think a lot of that's coming back. They were a mess last year. Ayuk.
His knee injury. That guy, he held out. Then he came back. He came in. He was bad. It seemed like they drafted a young receiver last year to kind of take his place. That they still signed him to big money.
I know.
Confusing what they've been doing there.
I know. I felt like when they were holding out with him, like there was like, when there's it's like Hendrickson, right? You're like, oh, we're negotiating, but you're like, you don't really want him. Like I really thought like San Fran was like just like trying to hold out as long as they could, and then they weren't going to pay him. They wound up paying him. So I don't know. It didn't
make a lot of sense, and they are struggling. Like I said, they from what I was hearing, their offensive line was already in trouble. They lost depth there.
Yeah.
Purdy, they still got to pay that guy. They're in trouble. I think they might be in trouble the next couple of years. It depends if Purdy can play good, but
if you're right, if Purdy's great,
if
he's a great quarterback, he'll be okay.
Middle tier quarterback that just gets you
Correct.
in the playoffs.
That's my gut
I know
feeling.
he's gone to the
That's
Super Bowl, so I shouldn't say that. But they were stacked 2,
yeah,
3 years, and now
yeah.
they're it's coming to haunt them. Now they're not going to be as stacked. It
I
slowly
agree,
does.
and I think it's going to come to haunt him. I think
Yeah.
he's an okay quarterback, and it's going to be an okay team, but plenty of holes.
Right.
So, we'll slide down. I'll touch real quick on Seattle. That's my team. They took
Right.
the guy that they seem to have been mocked to quite a bit.
Yeah.
The stuff that I've read about him, he sounds like the perfect kind of guy, but
Yeah.
Seattle's missed on so many offensive linemen that who really knows.
I know they need a center. I remember playing when we played they played the Bills. They had some snapping issues, all types of problems.
That game was so bad. The ball was flying over their heads.
It was going all over the place. So
It's one of those games now. The Bills haven't had many of these lately, but I say this all the time. Like, I'll watch a game and there's like, all right, each play, I feel like some team usually wins, right? If it's a 4-yard gain for a running back, it's a tie.
yeah,
Less than that, I feel like the defense wins. Something bigger than that, the offense wins. Seattle throws these games. That game versus the Bills, of all the plays, I think we won 3 of them.
Yeah.
I mean, every play was a disaster.
Yeah.
Ass kicked up and down all over.
yeah. Gino lost his cool that game.
Yeah. Well, he should have.
Yeah,
Um,
but yeah, it's a good pick. I mean, they needed it, and it fell to them. I mean, usually guard center, that's a good spot to get one of the top tier guard centers.
couple other interesting things. 21 Pittsburgh. Does Pittsburgh, do they just pretty much know that Rodgers is coming? Is that what it is?
That's my opinion on this whole thing. They just know Rodgers is coming. It's the only thing that makes sense. It is. It has to be. And I'm tired of hearing about Rudolph. The guy sucks. He's a career backup. I would love to have him as a backup. Love it.
Yeah.
He could maybe win you a game or two. Sure. We played him. The Bills played him this past year when he played for the Titans.
You might
He
jump
played a good
at
half.
me.
He played a great half. He was in the game.
You might jump on me here. I don't know. I'm not sure how much better the Steelers are with Rodgers than they are with Rudolph.
Nah, that's a crazy statement.
I haven't
You're
seen
wrong on
Rodgers.
that.
He hasn't played good. He hasn't looked good in 4 seasons.
You got to look at his numbers. Look at his numbers last year. Listen, I hate Aaron Rodgers, but look at his numbers. They're not that bad.
They're not that good.
They're not that bad. They're better than having Mason Rudolph play.
Let me see this guy's stats. I mean,
Let's not say crazy stuff just to get yourself
Just-
go viral.
no. I mean, where is this guy?
I'm pretty sure
Aaron Rodgers. All right, he was 8th. He was 8th in the league in passing yards. He had 3,800. He had 3,800 passing yards. That's a little. I mean,
You're telling me Rudolph would be top 10 in the league in passing yards if he played? He wouldn't be top 20.
I'm not sure. Yeah, but I'm not sure. Rodgers
run.
also had the second most pass attempts in the league. He threw almost 600
He
times.
did throw a lot.
I don't think. Yeah, I mean, I think if you put Rodgers at league average pass attempts, right? I bet he's finishing league average yards, maybe.
I mean, yeah. I mean, listen. I do think Aaron Rodgers is a major upgrade over Rudolph, but I don't think either of them matter. I think if you get Rodgers, you are a classic Pittsburgh team that just. I mean, they've spent money on the receivers. They've drafted a running back that, from what I've heard, is really good. So they've upgraded.
QBR, right? For whatever that's.
I'm saying 25th.
Oh, he's already on it. 25th.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins. Bryce Young's ahead of him. Jameis Winston.
Well, famous Jameis.
Oh, I mean, passer rating. Where is he there? 20th. Flacco. I mean, he's tied with Joey Flacco. Joey Couch Flacco.
Listen,
I don't know. I don't
I'm not
know.
saying
I don't
he's
know
great.
if
I'm
it's
just saying he is an upgrade. He's an upgrade from Rudolph.
Mason
And
Rudolph.
maybe if you're a close game, he can win you the game where Rudolph's not going to win you the game.
At what age is he not better than Rudolph? When Rodgers
I don't
is
know.
50?
How old is Rudolph? Rudolph's got to be
no
30.
When Rodgers is 50, can he roll off the couch and be better?
This is Rodgers' last chance.
No. I don't know. But either way, I'm wondering if Pittsburgh's like, listen, there's nobody we like there. Or maybe they just are like, Aaron's like, yeah, dude, I'm coming. Whatever. I'm coming. Right? And they just didn't draft him. I don't know. I thought that was interesting.
Last year, I don't know how many games this is in, but he threw 9 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. That's a bad ratio. Rudolph for the Titans last year. He started a decent amount
on a terrible team. Yeah, terrible team.
All right, 9 interceptions is a lot.
I agree. I'm not saying. All right. I don't. Pittsburgh. I fascinating to see what happens. Like I said, I hate Pittsburgh. I hope they get Rodgers because then I could just every Sunday as soon as I wake up, I'm like, yes. Seahawks might win today.
Right.
Steelers might lose today. That's like my second thought is going to be after the Seahawks. It's going to go right to the Steelers.
Right.
What do you the Jackson Dart trade? I know.
I mean, the trade, it makes sense. Actually, they didn't give up a ton to move up, from where they were. It's funny because you had the Falcons moved up, and they gave up a first round pick.
Yeah.
And the Giants moved up. I think they gave up 2/3 or something like that. So what they gave up, I don't hate. I think. Listen, I don't think this is a great draft for quarterbacks, and they were linked to Dart. I've told you about Dart. You don't listen to me enough. I was telling you about Dart for months and months now since we started this podcast. I've been talking about Dart. He's my boy, and I hope he does good. I think I don't think he plays this year at all. They got too many quarterbacks anyways, so I think he sits unless they get to the Giants are out. I think he sits till mid-November, and if they're out of it, they put him in. But he might not play this year at all, and I think that's fine.
Like I said, I don't watch tons and tons of college, right?
Right.
I follow the big games, bowl games, betting stuff a lot of times. I'll say this. I was kind of surprised the more I read about him and the more I heard questions about it, right?
Right.
About him and about his future and how much he needs to. I don't know. I was a little surprised at that. Like I thought they were going to be like, you know what, this guy's got 1 year and then he should be fine. There was a lot of people that
it depends who you hear from. I think this is the draft of this quarterback class. There's no even Ward. There's just question marks everywhere. They said if Ward came out last year, he's maybe a second round pick last year. It's just the way it is. It's not a great quarterback draft. I do think the Giants had to do something. 2/3. It didn't give up nothing crazy, and you hopefully Jackson Dart, becomes something, and you can let him sit, and I think he can, learn a little bit, and we'll see. We'll see, but I don't hate it. Again, what you give up for him to move up.
Yeah, I mean, I've said this. I think
got a good arm.
I just think if you don't have a quarterback, you have to make moves, right?
Yes.
So, I guess from that perspective, I don't necessarily hate it. I think you have to try and get guys, and maybe they felt like, you know what, he's not going to go. He's not going to slide much more, so we have to make our move. And if that was the guy that they targeted,
right,
as being as
There's
being
other
the
teams
best.
that were linked to Dart, so that liked him. So Dart was not getting. He was getting taken up soon. So if you want your guy, you go up and get him. If I'm a Giants fan, I've heard, some, it's New York media, so you hear some more stuff. I know they were a little upset about it and this and that, but listen, you got to take chances on quarterbacks. Quarterbacks are everything.
Yep.
So,
I mean, I think for his sake, really, if they can. And I've said this. I put this stuff on organizations. Now, again, this is tricky. The Giants, I think, are in a tricky spot because, if things go kind of sideways there a little bit for this season,
well, yeah.
Dable and the GM they're probably gone, right?
They're probably gone.
Now, I'll just slide a little bit to where Seattle, right? They drafted Milroe.
Yeah.
And if Seattle's not great this year, I don't think there's any chance that Schneider or McDonald are in danger. Right. I really don't.
It is different. I mean, now it's been Dable's been there long enough where people are like, let's come on, let's go.
Yeah. Like if I'm Seattle's coach, if I'm McDonald, I get in front of it right from the start and say, listen, I'm telling, and now you got to probably stick to this, right? But he's not playing this year. So stop with the questions. If we're 0-4, don't ask me. It's not happening. We drafted him.
I said, if best case scenario for the Giants is he don't play. The second best case scenario is he don't play till December.
But you can you kind of only do that if you have some assurance from the owner that you're okay. I mean, if they're 1-4 and you genuinely feel like I'm losing my job,
right?
And you're like, okay, Russell's done. This isn't going to work. It's time to throw him in there, right?
I think if Jackson Dart plays this year, Daboll's done. I think that. I really do. I know that you just drafted him and he was your pick, but they have two quarterbacks that have been starting in this league for a long time. If he can't do it now with this team, then I think if Dart plays it, Daboll's done either way.
So I know. So I don't know. Like I like how does that? How I wonder.
So
how
you're arguing, is this
like let's say you're the owner. Let's say you're the owner and you don't want Dart to play. You're like, listen, I really feel, right? Maybe they have thoughts like me. I really feel what's best for this guy and the future of the franchise is for him to not play, sit in that room, talk to these two experienced quarterbacks, pick their brains, learn the offense, study defenses, study film. I mean, what happens if you're 1-4? What happens if you're 1-4 and he's getting ready to put him in as the owner? I mean, you step in. I don't know how that would work and be like, listen, I don't think he should play. And he's like, I want to win games. Yeah. I don't know.
It's tough. I think actually, now I think about it, for Daboll, I think you should have got as much talent other than quarterback in this draft to try to help you survive, and then worry about quarterback next year. Because I honestly, if he's playing at week 5 or week 6, Daboll's in a lot of trouble. He just is.
And to build on that point, I think it's fairly safe to say that Dart probably offers them very little to improve their team this year.
Right, absolutely.
So maybe Dable makes it. Does a Dable and the GM show and make this pick because they have the backing or like they're, maybe. You know what I mean? Like they've been told, like, listen, it's not all about.
I mean, Dable's not like Daniel Jones wasn't my guy. He wasn't my guy. Give me a little time to build up my guy.
Right. Just so like I don't know.
My guy was
because
Allen.
You're right.
And now I want to build up this guy. Give me a shot.
From I need to win this year to save my ass.
Yeah.
They could have moved up and picked another player that's going to start.
I know. I agree.
So I don't know. Those are conversations I find intriguing and I'd love to know the answers to. Atlanta moved up. They're getting murdered everywhere I look. They're getting murdered.
I know. They gave up a lot. They gave up a lot. Now their defense was putrid last year, really, really bad.
I mean, they must love this dude,
right? You know, well, and the Rams hate first round picks, so it was a match made in heaven. But they had to have loved this guy to move up where they did and give up a first round pick next year.
I mean, I'm in the second round right now, right? And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 edge rushers won.
Right, and there was a couple ones I know, like Kuiper, whatever his mock draft means, but he had a couple edge rushers that were first round. Then Mike Green, that guy from Boston College. I looked at him for the Bills and other guys. I agree. They
must have loved this.
They wanted him, but man, it gives up. Sometimes you gotta be like, you can love a player, but it can just cost you so much to go up and get him. And obviously, he's not a top 5 talent, so it's interesting. It's interesting. We'll see. They did need work on defense. They were really bad.
Their pass rush is brutal.
Yeah, and I know they went back to back defensive line. So
man, they had. Remember Matthew Judon from the Patriots?
Yes. Yeah.
Man, they signed him. They traded for him, and then I think they signed him. There were a couple games with the Patriots where that dude looked like a monster.
I know.
I was like, dang, this guy's sick.
Yeah.
And I have him in my one dynasty league.
And he's like really fallen off.
Yeah. He got hurt and he's just never been, really fallen off. So I do know from following it, their pass rush is brutal, but that is a price to pay. And like I said, there were so many other guys on the board.
Right.
I don't know. That one.
And you don't know. You could have. I don't know. It looks even worse when a team traded up in front of you to 25 and gave up 2/3, and then you traded up to 26 and you gave up a first. That's a big difference. And we know, and the Rams hate they can't draft in the first round. They don't want to do it. So it's crazy. They got 2 next year. They're gonna have to figure out a way to get rid of them.
All right. The next pick, Baltimore. If I got to hear about this guy better be the greatest player ever.
It's every time Baltimore picks, it's like, whoa, they always get the greatest talent that just falls to them, whatever they want. He's awesome. And it's like,
well, we also have the Eagles and the Chiefs who the Eagles, I do feel like that does happen. I feel like every year there's this guy that they're like, he should be going here, and then they get him like multiple picks later.
It is true. It is true. Or the guy has some sort of legal issue and makes him drop like a couple picks.
Yeah. Oh man. So we'll see. I've heard just remarkable stuff for that pick from Baltimore. Yeah. That value. The Bills. The Bills draft. They draft colorful character guys.
Yes. Listen.
This guy looks awesome.
He does look good, and like everybody loved Keon last year for his.
That's right. Yep.
The Bills definitely have a type of player that they like. They love a person, whether he is a personality and talkative or just a well-spoken human being.
Yeah.
They do have a person. As soon as I heard him, I go, I get it. I get why they liked him. This team loves just heavy character guys, and he does seem like a genuinely decent human being.
Yeah. Did you see they showed him like he was hugging, like they showed the one thing where every pick, right? Like, you would think that every guy was his brother. He was so happy for him, which is cool. Like I said, that's super cool, right?
No, that's great.
It's great to see.
Everybody's chatting up and enjoying it, and he seems just like he's a Bills type guy. Every first pick every pick that the Bills seem to take, they're like the old New England Patriot way, where it's like they don't
this is their style.
Character guys. They get these guys that they really. You could just as soon as you hear him talk, you're like, yeah, I know. The Bills like this guy, and He ran the fastest speed at the combine. He's, he plays. I know he played a lot of zone in college, which is good because that's the only scheme we really play.
I read a bunch about how they felt like the fit was great,
right,
and all of that. I mean, he definitely looked explosive. I agree.
Like, I heard he needs to run. I don't want. Listen, just cover wide receivers. I don't care about. I know he'll get it there and do his best for tackling if he needs to, but I need guys who could stop the pass. So
that's right. You come across corners that
we have our other corner Benford. He's an amazing tackler, but he's out most of the year because he gets concussions.
Yeah.
So
you come across guys that are like that, but I mean, listen. I remember back in the day, I never saw Dion dying to get in there and crush it.
Yeah.
Right?
If you can, do you see Sauce Gardner getting really right up in there to make these tackles?
No, I mean, some guys do it.
About his tackling ability. They talk about can he cover, and that's all I care about, my corners. Can you?
That's cover? Right. And let's be honest, if you're great at covering, you don't have to tackle as much.
You don't have to tackle as much.
That's
not a concern for me. They say you can put on a couple pounds. Listen. We got a lot of good food in Buffalo. He'll be fine.
That's right. Well, and again, I say this all the time. There's you just put on a little bit of weight as you get older, right? As you get older,
he's going to have professional strength coaches here.
Correct. Lifting, eating a certain way, like that stuff happens. Yeah. Ross, I mean, different sport. Darlene, when we drafted him, looked like a toothpick.
Yeah, I know.
I was like, seriously, this kid plays pro hockey.
Yeah,
filled out. He fills in. You fill in a little bit.
Yeah, you get older. If your body fills out, he'll be fine. That's not any concern of mine. Listen, we need a cornerback. They've put a lot of effort into the secondary and the defense in this draft, so it was needed. So I hope he does well.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, like I said, and then you got Philly and the Chiefs, who both seem to, despite picking at the very end, get some really good high value players that potentially could have went earlier. So
yeah.
What's next? So, I mean, did you think Sanders was going pick 33 to Cleveland?
Yeah, I figured. I looked at the draft. I go, Cleveland's got 2 picks in the first 5 picks of the second round. It's gonna go to Cleveland, and this will be over with. And low second round, it's not horrible.
Yeah,
I think it's actually appropriately where he should have been drafted. But then it was just comical. Watching everything go, and you're like. Oh, he didn't go to Cleveland in the second one. You're like, all right, now who's next? The Jets. The Jets are going to take.
Well, no, Cleveland. So Cleveland was 2 picks after.
Right, Las Vegas had 2 at the end of the third round, I believe, because I remember I was watching that. But it was just. I don't want to feel bad for the kid. I don't, because from everything I read, he bombed on these interviews. Not only I know I've heard the Giants brought him in. The Giants were like, write some sort of plays on the board and do this and that. Didn't know what he was doing. Didn't know what he was talking about. Had no interest in doing it. And that's just one team I heard from. And
well, the interesting part about the Giants one was it sounded like they had asked him to do stuff to be prepared for something.
Right.
He wasn't prepared.
For the exact same thing that they asked him to do.
Which pissed Dable off.
Right.
And then Sanders got pissed off that he got pissed off.
Right.
Right? And then Dable was pissed off that this guy's possibly pissed off that I'm mad because he's not ready.
Yeah.
Like, it was like...
It's like giving you... I'm telling you what I need you to do before you even come in here.
That's right. And he didn't do it. And then he's arrogant enough to be like, yo, what are you so upset about? And he's like, what are you, we asked you to do this. This is your future. And you can't be bothered to do it. And Sanders was upset about that.
Yeah.
And I don't know. That was interesting. I don't know. I mean, again, without having the inside word, I mean, I read something that said Sanders was almost like tanking some interviews for teams that he didn't want to play with.
Play for. Right. Listen, everybody goes, "Oh, all these teams need quarterbacks." It's not true. You have 5 teams that truly wanted to draft a quarterback.
Yeah.
Truly. And if you alienated 2 to 3 of those teams, and then maybe he wanted to be a Giant and he just didn't prepare for that one.
Yeah.
Now you're really in trouble. Now you got one team.
And I've said,
you don't think these guys talk? You don't think Dable talks to the Cleveland coach, Stefanski? You don't think they talk all of it? They talk. Obviously, they talk. Because
somewhere there's talking, right? So, like, for me, and I've said this before, where they talk about, like, oh, is a guy going to come in and, you know, and again, guys do this, right? Like, I would have a tough time ever wanting Davante Adams because I feel when he's not happy, he's going to get a groin injury or something.
An injury.
And, like, I mean, if do you want a guy leading your entire franchise who you have real proof, right? If you heard from an assistant coach that you're good friends with that this guy came in and basically was awful in the interview, or even worse, purposely tanked it.
Right.
You're like, do I want that guy? Even if he wants to be here, do I want that guy?
I know.
You know what I mean? So, and deep down, I just think, you know what I almost equate this to? I almost equate it to, and this, like the hype machine. Dion has hype and people listen, and he's out there. And Sanders himself is a hype guy.
Yep.
He buys into it. He's all about it.
Yep.
You know who else was like that? You can go back and listen. Brian Bosworth.
Right.
He basically made himself into a first-round pick.
Right.
And the Seahawks were dumb enough to fall for it, right? He basically made this persona and made this image, and the hype was so big. And, you know, now people go back and they're like, I mean, he was a good player, but
he just wasn't that.
You know, and I think that's half of what this has kind of been all about. I do think if teams felt he had elite characteristics,
it wouldn't have mattered as much.
He wouldn't have gone to the 5th round.
Yeah,
some team would have been like, enough's enough, we're taking him.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I agree. Listen, if he was, you know, he had Daniels type talent from last year and all this stuff, and you know, we're gonna look past. You always look past it's just the way it is. If somebody's got the talent you think they're gonna have to change your franchise,
correct.
You look past certain things. I don't think anybody's there and saying that he's a definite franchise changer.
Yeah, no.
It already came out that Dion is already going to call the Browns and want to discuss what happened with his son and being drafted. No, he's drafted. They should thank you for drafting my son, and you're no longer involved. And the problem is, he doesn't have an agent. His family is his agent, so you have to deal with Dion because he's basically his agent. So we talked about this. That it's a whole thing that you're getting. You're getting this huge package that is a problem, an annoyance.
And again, they all, you know, there's talking. People, like I said, you know, that you're an assistant coach here. I played for this guy. I was under him. I coached with him over here. There's communication. I'll be perfectly honest. If I was, I guess the coach, right?
Right.
Or the owner of the Browns, I would go in and say, listen, you've had a couple tough days.
Right.
We drafted you, right? We know you have skills. You think you have these skills. You have 1 month. I swear to God, you have 1 month to prove to us you're here and you're going to do it our way and you're going to play by our rules, or else I swear on my ass I will cut you.
Yeah.
Because I'm not keeping. You're a 5th round pick.
Yeah, you're already our 5th quarterback at our board right now.
In a 5th round pick. 5th round picks get cut all the time. they don't make teams. It's not like I'm doing it to a first round pick. I'm not keeping around a headache and a problem.
Right.
You don't like it, you could walk out today.
Right.
You could walk out today and leave our organization. But I'm telling you right now, here's the playbook. I don't know what a reasonable amount of time is. I would give them some playbook, whether it be dummied down or something. You got 1 month. I'm going to quiz you on it. You don't know it, I'm cutting you.
I hear you. It's going to be interesting. They got a lot of quarterbacks in that room, and
yeah,
I just different styles. So
you got one shot to prove to us that you want to be a professional, not just the talent. You want to do it because there's other stuff that goes into it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. What do you think about the prank call?
I'm super confused because now I'm hearing that there was all sorts of these prank calls.
Well, maybe they were smart enough. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't hear that. But if
From
they were, maybe they were smart enough not to video it and put it that part online.
Not just to him, but to other
players,
other guys.
The same guy doing the prank call?
No, just different. Like a bunch of other draftees.
Yeah,
got prank calls. I think one of the Bills guys they said did.
Oh,
when the Bills
looking at.
Like when the Bills guy, the GM picked up and then he said I'm so and so or whatever, whoever was the first guy to call, and then they were like, are you serious? Because I got prank called or something.
Yeah.
I heard a couple of them. I don't know. I thought, whatever. Is it kind of funny? Sure. Is it a kind of a dick move? Of course.
It's kind of a dick move, especially. Listen, it would be different. It was like, I guess you or I doing it. We have no ties to these. When it's your dad who is a coach and it's going to directly affect him with this coming out because you videotaped yourself and you put it online, that's totally different. That's where I was like, this kid's, listen, he's an idiot. He's 21 and he's an idiot. And it'll all be fine. It's all going to go away. But it's ridiculous. It is crazy. That's where I was like, listen, if it was me or you doing it and we just did it and didn't put our names out there and we just thought it was funny and we caught viral and we're like, dude, look at what we did and it's kind of funny. And we told our friends. But
I don't
videotape it or we're doing it on the podcast and we're like, let's call Shedeur right now.
Yeah.
You're being an idiot. I mean, that's just stupidity.
I know. Plus, not to mention, I don't know.
But you got to get your views and clicks, Joe. You got to get, a way to get your name out there. And I'm sure he's going to have he's going to have some sort of prank calling thing in a year.
Business?
Yep. Or some sort of show, some sort of YouTube channel where he pranks people. He's going to make millions.
Maybe. I'll say this.
He's going to make millions off this.
Maybe I like mob stuff and things like that too much, but there was a little part of me that's like, I don't know if I would be putting my identity out there.
I know.
Is it that far fetched that the Sanders or know somebody that down the road gets this guy back a little bit?
Yeah, I know. It was dumb, but kids do dumb things. Lastly, we had in Buffalo, we had the GM go on a local radio station here, and he kind of snapped this morning.
Yeah,
it went off on the guys on the radios. They were bitching and moaning a little bit about not drafting a wide receiver and this and that, and Brandon Beane went off on these guys, Jeremy White, and so calling him, saying bitching about this, and you're bitching about that. You bitched about taking Josh Allen. You bitched about this guy. It was wild. You don't see that too often. You don't see about, coach, GM. They don't go on and rip on, a radio show.
I feel like especially guys like Bean, right? Maybe if you told me
cool, a calm guy, I've heard him so many times.
That's what I mean. If you told me sometimes they get ex-players, right? That you know what I mean? I don't know, less more football type guys than say business type executives.
Right.
But I don't know. I mean, the story blew up pretty quick.
Really? Yeah. I mean, I guess if somebody's shitting on your job day in and day out, and you're hearing it, and eventually you're just like, I know he said he was on hold listening to them, and that's kind of, I think, triggered him. And when he got on, he just was hot.
Well, and I think what, I mean, again, he did say as much. Like, I get it. You're a radio show. You want to,
you got to talk about something.
Yeah, it's something interesting. Like, I don't know how great, the phone calls are going to be if you're previewing and going on about 20 offensive linemen. Right?
Yeah, I mean,
so
you're going to talk about the draft. What are we going to talk about the draft? Well, we had needs.
Skill player.
Quarterback. We needed this. Do we have a number one wide receiver? No. Well, it wasn't a good wide receiver class. I mean, just look at drafts. I mean, it's just there's going to be somebody comes out in this one, but it just wasn't a great wide receiver class.
Yeah, and those are the. I mean, he made this point is about like he said something about like the fantasy perspective, right? And it's like, I mean, again, if you look at what we just did, we went through talking. I purposely did not talk about, I'm trying to go. I purposely didn't talk about Walter Nolan. Yeah. You know what I mean?
No,
I didn't sit there and spend a ton of time on Donovan Jackson, right? Like, so I get both sides of it, but I thought it was awesome that he kind of snapped at him a little bit and kind of putting into perspective of like, you armchair quarterbacks, you radio listeners, like, there is so much more to building a team than just skill positions, right? Offensive line, defensive line, win big time. And, his point was we scored 30 points 8 games in a row.
The second highest scoring team in the league. If anything, I mean, we'll see but we have the same wide receivers we had last year. We said we added Palmer, who hopefully can play and we're still bringing in some guys, but
and again, I think he knows. I felt this. I think there's a certain part where it's like, we think Josh is this good. I don't know. We don't want a 150 target guy. Right. Like, I want him to be able to spread it around. We want quality, good players, but you bring in a number one guy, like a full-blown number one guy, and now you have to force the ball to him a little bit. You know what I mean?
Their wide receivers are very expensive nowadays, so that is the other thing. You want to listen. The Bills have a great offensive line. They do great offensive line.
I mean,
defense. So that's where they put all their capital this year. Defense.
And I think he's sitting there like their mindset is, I drafted Coleman. We think he's good. I think he's going to grow. Kincaid is third year.
Yeah.
I say this all the time, in my opinion. We get spoiled by Brian Thomas last year or Jefferson, those big years. A lot of these receivers, it takes 3 years.
Right.
And Kincaid's a tight end, but he is,
receiving tight end. There's
enough similarities to a receiver and his skill set that, they think he's going to make a big leap forward. If he makes a leap forward and Coleman gets more involved, and you already have Shakir, who had a really, really nice season. You know what I mean? Like, we got guys, know? So, they brought in Palmer, who they obviously didn't bring in because they think he's bad.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like they like the pieces that they have around, and like you said, they didn't win because they were scoring 3 points.
No,
or I mean, they didn't lose games because they were scoring 3 points.
Yeah,
they were scoring because they couldn't stop people. So
right. I mean, they scored 27 in the playoff game. They lost. So
yeah, I mean, I thought the morning show host guys. And now listen, I'm not saying I probably might not have been any different. I thought in the hour or two afterward, I thought they were, and I said this to you before. I don't know if flustered's a word. A little like shock. You said,
Yeah.
Like they were super defensive, which, again, maybe rightfully so. If they're like, listen, you listened to the last 5 minutes, you didn't listen to the first 2 hours where we were talking about all the good stuff that we like. So I could see why they would be, but that's got to be, I mean, I don't know. As a radio host, I would think that's probably some of the most adrenaline that those guys felt on the air, right?
Hey, I mean, it's getting them pub at least.
Yeah, for sure. So
it was interesting. It was, I mean, I just know my phone starts blowing up from all different chats. Are you hearing this? Everybody listen to WGR. The bean's going off, and then you're like, then it starts to be everywhere. It was a wild little morning for Buffalo.
I had an exciting part with the draft with Seattle getting Milroe. Like I said, I don't follow college a ton, and
he's a project, but he's got the legs.
Sure. So I mean, I'm seeing a bunch of things. They're like, is he faster than Lamar? And I'm like, oh, now I got to go watch some clips.
Yeah,
he's a great runner. I don't think he's faster than Lamar. Right. I don't know. I mean, just the naked eye tells me Lamar's faster. But I mean, they say he's got maybe the strongest arm.
He's got cannon.
And he definitely can run. So
he's a good project.
And the highlights showed he's pretty darn good at up the seams, which is also similar to Lamar. Like Lamar's good with the tight ends.
Yeah, Lamar
and hitting that. I love the risk at that spot. Point, like I said,
I mean, so it's funny because as soon as it got to the third round, and I go, Shedor's not the next quarter. Now you're into, I want to take a risk on a guy who could be the next big thing. And I go, Milroe's the guy. He is definitely going next because now you're in that range where you want a guy, a project. You're not expecting this guy to be a starter. Project. And that's what he is. And he has the legs that everybody wants now as a quarterback. He's got a rocket of an arm, and you hopefully, I think listen, it's funny because the guy from the Colts, Richardson, he gets fourth overall. I think they're the same player. They're not much different. He can't hit anybody.
Yeah.
I watched game. He's 4 for 22. It's 7 for 29.
And if Milroe turns out to be not good, you're not crippled.
Right.
Whereas the Colts are
4. You're crippled. Now you don't know what they're doing this year. They got Daniel Jones. I was listening. Who's gonna play more games? Daniel Jones. I mean, it shouldn't be a question. He drafted him 4th overall.
Yeah. I mean, this has to be the final year for Richardson. Either the final year the final year you're done, or the final year we're 5th year option and extension. It's that time, right? So I have a couple buddies that follow college, and a lot of them said that they think Milroe's definitely right now as good as they felt like he is as good as Hurts was coming out.
Yeah.
Or maybe even ahead of Hurts when Hurts came out, not now. Right.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's a comparison to them too. I think he's a little bit better of a runner than Hurts.
Yeah. So I love the swing, and I love, like I said, to me, I get out in front of this right away and say, I don't care how bad Sam Darnold is. I don't care what this looks like. There's virtually nothing that's going to happen that this guy's getting on the field this year.
I agree with
unless it's a couple specific packages. I don't know. Can you bring him in?
That is where he's going to be playing. He will get on the field. It will be packages.
Yeah, you bring it. You got like a 3rd and 2.
Yeah, you can do
and can we bootleg them and then even play action some off of that? Right?
No, he'll be on the field.
That part. That's interesting. If Darnold's a team guy, he should be open to that, right? Like, I mean, again, is it going to take away a little of his playing time? Sure, but I think that is such an effective weapon that you run 1 or 2 bootlegs with him, and then that next time you send a guy running on a route, that defense is probably sold out on stopping him. So
no, I like the move, and I knew it as soon as it got to the 3rd round. I'm like, you're getting out of the range of that. I think I have a starting quarterback. Now you're in project.
Yeah, no, it's
Now
project
Sanders
time.
is. You don't want Sanders as a backup. I think
Yeah.
he's going to be a nightmare as a backup, and this is the perfect fit. I thought it was a great move by Seattle. That was definitely a, good risk to take it where they got him.
Oh, all right. Well, sounds good. I mean, we could probably dig out another episode on this, but I know we definitely want to catch up on the NBA and NHL playoffs. So, hopefully tomorrow maybe we can pop one out. So, sound good?
Sounds good, man.
Awesome stuff. Been some really, really good NHL playoffs going on, some physical stuff. So let's dive into that a little bit on the next one.
Wilson murdered that guy yesterday.
Oh,
talk about it. But he murdered him.
Wow. I mean, correct. The guy's head was like, it was awesome.
It was awesome.
Loved it. So, all right, sounds good. All the listeners were on the 4 major ones: iHeartRadio, YouTube, Spotify, and Apple. Hope everybody enjoyed the draft. A lot of pre-draft hype, and it was certainly exciting to see. So, yeah, that's about it. Let's roll on and get ready as we get closer to Super Bowl, Stanley Cup.
You got
Stanley
the finals
Cup
and NBA finals
time.
and Derby weekend. We got some stuff to talk about. So.
Derby weekend, yes. So, all right, sounds good, Tommy.
All right, man.
See ya.
See ya.